So the boys and I had talked about going skiing on this day, but the weather was really pretty warm. It was high 40s down here at the Sound, and up on the mountains, it was getting up a little bit closer to, like just above freezing level, so 33, 35 degrees. And we thought we'd have a bit more fun if we stayed down here and went kayaking.
You like the pogies?
They're okay, but I don't like the feeling of being attached to my paddle.
Yeah. So Cole is using a really cool glove. I'm just going to call it a glove. It's almost like a mitten, but it wraps around the shaft of the paddle, and it creates this pocket of warmth, basically, for your hand. So your hand just slides in, and the pogie has Velcro on the back, which allows it to wrap around the paddle, and it protects your hand from the wind and from water. And you'll see here that I'm not using pogies, I'm actually using a glove. This is a knit glove from Showers Pass, and it is incredibly comfortable. It's warm, it was waterproof. You'll see here in just a moment. I'm actually going to submerge my hand completely underwater with the GoPro, and hand fully submerged, brought it out. It was dry on the inside, it was still warm. The glove itself is this 3-piece construction. These have actually become my favorite gloves. They're my go-to kayaking gloves. And when I wear these out, I'll definitely be buying another set.
How are the gloves working?
Pretty good. I don't know.
You throw a little squeak.
Yeah. If I hold it tighter, not bad.
Those are the NRS.
Colin used my NRS Fusion kayaking gloves. They're neoprene, they're 1 mil thick. They are warm, they're dry, but the size that they claim to be, XL, they were not XLs. They were way smaller. And they made a very loud squeaking sound with every stroke I took with my wooden Greenland paddle. So I did not enjoy them very much.
Kind of tight at first. Eventually you get pretty used to them. My thumbs don't hurt, which they did to begin with. They're pretty warm, they're pretty comfortable. I got my hands nice and warm. It looks like they did cut up my hands a little bit, so I kind of rubbed a little bit. But otherwise, pretty solid. Pair of gloves, I give them like a solid 7 out of 10.
This is a closer look at the glove I was using. This is the Showers Pass waterproof cross knit glove, and it is amazing. So my new favorite glove. It is a 3-piece construction. There's a wool inner liner. There's this Arctics, which I imagine is kind of like a Gore-Tex ripoff liner, and then the outside has knit abrasion resistant fabric. It is very warm. It was very comfortable. It did stay dry for the most part, except I was dunking my entire hand underwater to film, and I know that I submerged my hand, it got over the cuff, and I got water into it. I also did notice that as I was paddling, when you use a Greenland paddle, you're constantly getting water run down onto your thumb. And I did notice that my thumb was saturated, so it did get wet. However, it's wool, so it stayed really warm until I took them off. Once you take off a wet glove and you go to put it back on, yeah, it's going to be a little bit cold. So it did warm back up eventually, but it was and is my favorite glove. These are actually bicycling gloves, so these are not kayaking gloves. I found these on one of the forums. They said give it a shot. I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I'll love them. I'll be buying another pair when I eventually wear these out. This is a close-up of the pogies that Cole was using. You'll notice they are literally attached to the paddle. And on a Euro blade, like your standard kayaking paddle, not a big deal. But when you're using a Greenland paddle, you are really supposed to be moving your hand all around and adjusting the shoulders so you can, do slightly different grips and adjust to get a little more nuance on your stroke. So I'm not a huge fan of the pogies for use with Greenland paddle, but it was a cold day. I wanted to see how it would work, and he volunteered. So he took one for the team. His hands were warm. His hands stayed dry. When he pulled them out, they were, they got into the wind and they were cold. So he was happy and eager to put those pogies back on. But he did mention he did not enjoy necessarily being attached to his paddle the way that you are with the pogies. I suppose if it was a slightly sloppier fit and it was able to slide up and down, that would be better for control with the Greenland paddle. However, then at the same time, it would also be letting water slide along that paddle and get your hands wet, and that kind of defeats the purpose. Now, your hand does get wet with a pogie, but because it's neoprene and it's all pretty secured in there, the water warms up and it stays warm because the body heat from your hand is warming up that water, just like it does with any other glove, that dive glove or kayaking glove that you're using. But he did say the pogies, they worked for him. They just not his favorite, just because of the lack of mobility. This was, about a 2 hour, 45-minute paddle. Partway through, Cole did try to convince Colin to trade out gloves so that he could use the NRS neoprene gloves, and tried to convince Colin to take those pogies. Colin wisely declined. So I think I will probably wind up buying both boys sets of their own Showers Pass knit waterproof gloves, and I actually think I'll buy myself a second pair so that when I get to the halfway point of a paddle and I take off my gloves to eat lunch, I can put on some warm, dry gloves. All right, those are my thoughts on some of the glove options that we have available. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.